everybody, it's Mel from Stocksbridge Guitar Tech. Here we are now at lesson number 10, if you've been following along with the series, which I hope you have been, and I hope you're doing all right with the lessons. If there's anything you're not sure about, if you want to ask me a question, please feel free to do so in the comments section. I don't spend all day on YouTube reading comments though, so it may take me a while to get back to you, but if I can answer your questions, I will do. The main thing is just keep persevering. You will get there. I know at first, when you're first learning, it seems very, very difficult. But just keep persevering. If you get past the 3 or 4 month mark, you're flying. So just stick with it, keep going. Today's lesson, I'm going to teach you those 2 chords I was just playing there. These are both 7 chords. Now if you can remember back to lesson number 1, we learned the G7 chord, which is like, it's like a C chord, just with the fingers slightly moved. So that's a 7 chord. So today we're going to learn A7 and D7, and all a 7 chord is usually, if you have a scale like a major scale, we have degrees of the scale like 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, etc. So a lot of songs are written in a progression called a 1-4-5, and all that means is, for example, if we're in the key of G major, G would be the 1 chord, so that's the 1. C would be the 4 chord, because we have G, which is the last letter of our musical alphabet. Just remember, we only have 7 note names. We start at A and we finish at G, which is the 7th, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then we start at A again. So if we're starting on G and we're using that as our root chord, our 1 chord, then we would start again G, A, B, C. So C would be our 4 chord in a key of G major, and our 5 chord would be G, A, B, C, D. So the 5 chord would be D. So we have G, C, G, D, and so on. So with that D, that 5 chord, we could turn that into a D7, because the 7 chord is usually used on the 5th degree of the scale. For that reason it's called dominant. We would say that's the dominant chord of the G major scale, and we would usually make it a 7. So instead of playing G, C, G and D, we'd play G, C, G, D7. So if you can hear that difference, there's a D, and there's D7. And there's the 7. And all we're doing is we're dropping the octave D down a tone to a C. So instead of just our usual major triad containing the root, the 3rd and the 5th, we now have 4 notes in the chord: the root, the 3rd, the 5th and the 7th, or the flat 7 in this case. And it just gives a little bit more tension that feels like it wants to resolve somewhere. In this case it's a D7, so it wants to resolve to that one chord, that G major. And the G7 wants to resolve to its one chord, which is C major. It just sounds a little bit better than going from a G to a C. Or from a D to a G. Just adds a little extra bit of spice. So that's some of the theory behind it, but let's zoom in and let's have a look at these two chords. We'll do A7 and then we'll do the D7. Well, we already know the A major chord. We learned that a few lessons back. And all we need to do to turn this A major into an A7 is take our pinky finger, the little finger, and place it on the high E string at the 3rd fret. So that's the A7 chord. The D7 is even easier. Now we do need to move the fingers around for this one. So we're going to take the ring finger and put that where the middle finger was. So we're putting the ring finger now on the high E string, the 1st string, in the 2nd fret. Then we're going to take the middle finger, we're going to put that on the 3rd string, the G, at the 2nd fret. And so now we've got our index finger free. We're going to take that index finger and put that in the 1st fret of the 2nd string, the B string. So now we've got that note there, that C, has now replaced that D there. So we've taken that D and we've moved it down 2 frets or 1 tone, and that's the 7 note in the key of D. So we now have that's our D7 chord. Once again we have the A7, the D7. So that's it for today's lesson, folks. Lesson 10, that's 2 more new chords for you, the A7 and the D7. In the next lesson we'll carry along on this theme and we'll learn the E7 and a slightly different chord, the B7. So I hope you'll join me for that one. That's all for today. As ever, thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe and I'll see you on the next lesson. Bye for now.